For now is the time for the oaks of righteousness to arise. For they will be called oaks of righteousness. Another version would read, mighty oaks, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. Let me tell you about this oak. Let me tell you about a little bit about the most powerful and transcendent of trees. No other symbol incorporates passion and promise like the cross. A simple symbol depicting two pieces of wood, one vertical and the other horizontal, successfully branded the eternal hope of glory to all mankind. Madison Avenue and multi-million-dollar campaigns have not been able to reproduce the loyalty, commitment, and even multi-generational allegiance to a message conveyed via the humble conduit of a brand, not written on the wood, but incarnated in the spirit of what it represents: grace and eternal life. That universal Christian symbol, vociferously and with unbridled persuasion, not only conveys a message of what is to come, but also of what life truly is, a cross. Jesus said, carry your cross daily and follow me. The cross is both vertical and horizontal. Vertically, we stand connected to God, his kingdom, eternal life, spiritual truths, divine principles, and his glory. Horizontally, to our left and to our right, we exist surrounded and revealed through community, relationships, family, culture, and society. For too long, we have lived either vertically or horizontally, but few, even in Christian leadership, have succeeded in living, speaking, equipping, leading, and ministering from both the vertical and horizontal planes of the cross. Simply stated, the cross is both vertical and horizontal. It is redemption and relationship. It is covenant and community. It is kingdom and society. It is righteousness and justice, salvation and transformation, ethos and pathos, John 3:16 and Luke 4. It is Billy Graham. It is Mother Teresa. It is faith. It is public policy. It is prayer. It is activism. It is sanctification. It is service. It is the New Jerusalem, and it is Washington, D.C. Historically, ethnocultural settings prescribed realities limiting the sphere of Christian leadership to one plane or another. For example, in the 20th century, the majority of white evangelicals primarily focused on the vertical, Billy Graham and the message of salvation. Even politically, the issues addressed by this constituency limited the agenda to two very important items: traditional marriage and pro-life advocacy. On the other hand, African-American Christians focused and channeled the vast majority of Christian leadership and service to the horizontal plane, addressing issues of justice such as racism, discrimination, poverty, education, political disenfranchisement, and equality. In order to secure our Judeo-Christian heritage, Christian leadership in the 21st century must stand and operate from the strongest part of the cross, where the vertical and the horizontal intersect, the center, not the political center, but the nexus of grace and hope. We need a church committed to saving the lost and transforming our communities, to addressing sin and confronting injustice, staunchly pro-life and committed to alleviating poverty. It's not either or, it's both and. And here we have the Oak Initiative. This body will not shy away from declaring that it is impossible to defend life, enrich the American family, prophetically stand up for justice, protect God's creation without a firewall composed of kingdom culture coalitions where white, blacks, browns, men and women, rich and poor, stand as equals on a platform of righteousness and justice. The stereotypical media exacerbated image of the angry white evangelical will be replaced by an evangelical movement that will reconcile uncompromised core values with compassion, truth with mercy, and righteousness with justice. At the end of the day, this Oak Initiative will stand as a canopy of mobilization and messaging, where fragmentation will be replaced by a kingdom agenda that will preserve our Judeo-Christian value system and defend religious and individual liberty. The Oak Initiative stands on the roots of biblical orthodoxy, eternal truth, holiness, and justice. And we stand committed to the following branches of mobilization. We will mobilize in reconciling both the vertical and horizontal elements of the Christian cross. We will mobilize a multi-ethnic kingdom culture presentation of the gospel message. We will mobilize for cultural reformation, not just engagement. We will vociferously articulate with love and compassion that God, the Creator, is sovereign over man and government. We will mobilize, engaging in a multi-generational network of spokespersons who can speak to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. We will mobilize on behalf of a biblical justice movement addressing poverty, creation care, inequality, and justice. We will mobilize to defend life, liberty, and our Judeo-Christian value system. We will mobilize in favor of a constitutional amendment defining marriage between one man and one woman. We will mobilize on behalf of the Defense of Marriage Act. We will mobilize in favor of candidates that embrace and do not feel threatened by a biblical worldview and our Judeo-Christian heritage. We will mobilize black, white, Latino, Asian, and women, not in token allocation, but as equal stake and shareholders. We will mobilize in prayer, in righteousness, justice, and in vertical and horizontal activism. We will mobilize and train media spokespersons that will articulate truth with love. We will engage multiple platforms for engagement, including digital media and mass communication. We will educate Christians on current events, both in the kingdom and in the political sphere. We will place ethnic faces in front of the media to confront cultural wedge issues. We will stand to heal our nation and the nations. We will mobilize a youth network that will lead as the prophetic champions of biblical justice and stewardship. What we won't do, we will not be held hostage to the agenda of the donkey or the elephant. We will serve as advocates for the agenda of the Lamb. We will not preach as angry zealots, but as compassionate followers of Christ. We will not build walls, we will build bridges. And we will not surrender our core values on the altar of political expediency. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Oak Initiative. This is the new American movement committed to righteousness and justice. And we will do it all for the display of His splendor. God bless America. God bless the church. God bless the Oaks of Righteousness. And God bless the Oak Initiative.